Alright guys, welcome. RedAir 3997 from Miami to the Dominican Republic. Punta Castelo? Las Americas. Let's just call it that. We'll call it Las Americas. First of all, let's get fuel weight balance started. So we can get loaded up. And we'll ask for clearance while doing the loading. Just got a mic check done, they can't hear us. Fuel for today, 23,017 pounds. About a zero. There you go. Passengers 169, so we're going to load it up 8580 because it's always too many people. So, and then cargo 9,495. We'll split 75-25 in the cargo bins. So 9,495 times 0.75 divided by 2 is 3,560. And then 9,495 times 0.25 divided by 2 is 1,860. There you go. Got true fuel again. It's 23017. And those numbers are finally happy. There we go. So load fuel, load cargo, and passengers. And those numbers start going up. And let's get our clearance. Miami ground, RedAir 3997 is looking for IFR clearance to Las Americas.
RedAir 3997 Miami ground. You're cleared to the Mike Delta Sierra Delta Airport. Clada 2 departure, Jaguar transition, then as filed. Maintain 5,000. Expect flight level 330 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 124.85, squawk 7432.
RedAir 3997 is cleared to the MD82 airport via the Clada 2 departure, Jaguar transition, climb maintain 5,000, spec 330, 10 minutes after departure, spot code 7432, departure on 124.85, RedAir 3997.
Air 3997, read back correct. Expect runway 8 right for departure. Place and start at your discretion and advise ready for taxi.
We'll advise ready to taxi, RedAir 3997. Alright, there we go. First of all, so you don't have the aircraft try to stall on us. If that happens, 5,000, 8, it's actually 92, 250, Yeah, this is actually a fun aircraft. I've been practicing for a little while. 7-4, 7-4-3-2. There you go. Push start our discretion. Fuel still loading. So route MDSDRDA 708. Right. Activates. Executes. Departure arrival. Latitude. Jaguar. Execute. Route. Page. Then we have Rumbo. After Rumbo, Y441 to JUELE. Execute. UT18 to Denton. After that, UW39 to SGO. Execute. UW2 4 and we take that to Codex. X. Execute. Arrival with Codex 2G. Coding 2G. Miles 782. I believe it was Valam. I tested on this flight earlier. Approach. Miles 17. Yes, it is Valam. Execute. Star. 2G. Right, legs. We'll make these absolutes because last time I came in pretty high because they weren't absolute and I didn't like that. Cruise, flight level 330. Execute. Now do our init reference as that continues to fill up. Plug fuel to 3 slash aim. They have the gross weight 142.4. Reserves 8.1. Cost index is 15. Max altitude always typically lower to start with, but it ends up being fine. The past few flights I've done with this, so we'll continue with it. 28069. High speed HU 11. Execute. Take off. Outside air temperature is currently 25. Let's check what ATIS has in it, because we didn't actually pick an ATIS. We should have. We didn't. ATIS Bravo has it as 26. Well, that's in, yeah, that's just Celsius. Okay, 26. Execute. And we have our V speeds. There you go. Execute. So yeah, once all this fuel loads up, will be great. While we're at it, for takeoff, CG is 2, flaps 11. That'll bring us to trim 9. So we'll do that now. That's just trim wheel, so don't worry about it. It's not an error sound or anything like that. Just the way you manually trim this thing out.
Stabilizer motion.
Alright, that is 9. Yep, that's exactly 9. Good job. TCAS terrain radar. There you go. And we are done on the fuel. So, turn left on. Start car. And we will start APU. And there goes EGT. Switch on. Make sure I have all the lights on as possible, so I can see as best as I can. Logo light on. Right, we have APU. Gap on. Air. Ooh, that's about it. Before I put that in RTO, arm that taxi. Now we do need hydraulics. So hydraulics on. Trans on. And the engine pumps will come on after this point. So that will allow us to actually be able to toggle park brake on and off. We're going to expedite that. Smith. And I believe we are otherwise ready. Yes, we are otherwise ready. So let us be on our way. Close. Close. Close that. It says already on. Fuel pumps are good. Air supply. Transport. Better push back.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
There you go.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Further text chart ready.
All right. Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Sounds good with me. Let's get ready to rock and roll.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Magic.
Here comes the pushback. Light 'em up.
Will do. Packs off. Start this on. This is A. Open. Left engine. Left engine start. Fuel to 1. We have power for 1. Open up 2. And start 2.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Parking brake set.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
At field 2. And that's a good start on 2. Go ahead and disconnect. Close 2. Systems off, start pump off. Taxi back on.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Will do. It is 2995. We have Bravo.
Touchdown aircraft, Miami ground and Miami departure closing in approximately 5 minutes.
Alright, so we need to get out of here soon. That's what we're trying to do. Yaw damper on. Alright, so we have no other warnings. Right, spoiler deployed. Left, spoiler deployed. Forward. And back. Flaps 11. Engine hydraulics on. And AV off. Right, text charts open. Miami ground, RedAir 3997 is ready to taxi runway 8 right with Bravo.
Air 3997 Miami ground, runway 8 right, taxi via Whiskey Mike.
Taxi via Whiskey Mike, RedAir 9997. Alright, here we go. There goes the APU. Takeoff power selected. Take the next right onto Whiskey. Flight director on. We do not have a ground speed indicator, so this is the best thing to do. Just kind of guesstimate and take speeds, you know. That makes sense. guys are gonna get a little fast, so we'll back off the power there real quick. And right there is the hold short point for 8 right and 12.
RedAir 3997, Tampa, correction, Miami departure is now closed. Monitor Unicom 122.8, have a great flight.
Over to Unicom 122.8, thank you, have a good night.
Aircraft Miami departure and Miami ground are now closed. All aircraft monitor Unicom 122.8.
Alright. Over 122.8. Put those on. Arm RTO. Miami traffic, RedAir 3997 is taking off runway 8 right, departing to the east on the Cloud 2 departure. Miami traffic. Here we go. This is the Rotate MD80, if you are wondering. It's a really nice aircraft, actually. What I love, actually, about the MD80 in general is how wide the runway lights are, because how they're on the wings. So you see the whole thing. Alright. And Toga. Airspeed's 5 at 80 knots. V1 rotates. Positive rate, gear up. Autopilot, nav, VNav. One notch of flaps in. Flaps up. Miami traffic, Red Air 3997 is climbing through 2400 for flight level 330. Final call. Miami traffic. Climb. And de-arm that. Nav climb armed. That was a great departure. Really good job. Maybe 3,000 a little high. I might set to 1,500 next time. But got the job done. We didn't descend erratically, and we are on our way to our destination. Really cool. About 2 hours and 20 minutes of flight time. Let me get an exact time for you. Actually, today's flight time is 1 hour 44 minutes, 2 hours 12 block time, so be a little faster than usual. There's been a lot of traffic in Fort Lauderdale, but not a lot of traffic in Miami, so that's why I'm not seeing anyone. Here's what it is. Sometimes it's nice to be on a flight on your own. No one to bother you. Turn that off. This nose light's already tucked in and away. Remember, I gotta turn this manually to 299 or 2 because there's no standard pressure button. It's older aircraft here. That is 10,000. Wing lights, floodlights. And apparently on this plane, the strobe lights are automatic, so when we land, they'll turn themselves off. That's why I didn't have to worry about turning them on or off on the ground. climbing, I'll make sure that everything else is still working down here. Okay, bro. Execute. Yeah, Bolemic and SD150 are basically the same waypoint, so they're only 17. It's not new because it's after that. It's fine. Rest of the flight is set. We should be good. You know what? I remember what I did wrong. I didn't arm the spoilers for rejected takeoff, just in case. This airplane is old like that, so the Airbus do arm spoilers for rejected takeoff. Boeing does not. Why? I didn't design the aircraft, so I can't tell you. That is how it is. I remember seeing that on a tutorial I was watching somewhere, but I forgot to do it this time. It's okay, we made it off the ground anyway. We're already passing through 16,000 feet. Turn on the window heat, just in case, as it gets colder up here. There you go, Mach. Actually, not yet. 18,000 to 902. We'll fly back to Miami tomorrow. We'll have daylight that time. And we'll also fly to Orlando, prepare for our Iceland Air crossing to Keflavik on Friday. Start meeting up with a friend, Flight Fan. He's a regular here in the chat. When I'm not flying while he's asleep, of course. We'll be flying in Europe for a little while over the course of next week. As the plan. I really did want to do these MD80 flights. This is my first paid for aircraft, actually. Level Up is a free add-on, so really nice to have Level Up around. Makes flying 737s easy. A lot more fun than flying the standard that comes with the game. A lot more in depth. This rotate MD80, I've actually fairly enjoyed it. I have not had too many issues. Took me some getting used to. The MD80 in-game that is provided is rather dated and has poor mechanics. The auto brakes on that one are really slow and really bad, so you have to put maximum auto brakes on there. The thrust is a lot lower than it is here. So flying in general becomes a hassle. But this plane's a lot more in depth. It does make it work for it. So far, we put together a really good full flight, and I hope to continue that as we travel on to the Dominican Republic tonight. So far, so good. You gotta be really careful on what is selected, and you'll see it here on this panel right here. So we have VNAV climb and nav track. If I wanted to select ILS, you need to make sure it says ILS glide slope, or else you're not capturing the ILS. You can put the ILS in here all you want, and it'll say ILS, and it'll show you on here, glide slope here, and it'll show you here if you're lined up. But it will not attempt to land or follow the glide path unless you have ILS glide slope lit up in these boxes. At the same time, it'll not auto land unless you click auto land. In the base model that X-Plane gives you, it'll just choose to auto land. It'll capture it by itself by you so much as clicking it. It's a little bit wonky though, as it's not exactly the best and most accurate all the time, but it tries. And use this button here to set your minimums. And your thrust select is here. So takeoff flex. It's like if you want to do like a flex takeoff. I don't want to, because it's not a real plane, and then they don't care about the engines too much. So if it's full throttle, great. If it's not, it is what it is. So takeoff, climb, cruise, go around. I'm not sure what this one is. I've not learned that. And this is to change the assumed temperature, which will change how much thrust they will give you. So these are all very important things to know when flying this aircraft if you're trying to, if you're just new to it or you're trying to do something that you don't normally would. It's a lot older, so everything's a lot more manual. Planes were built back in the 80s, based on the DC-9 family. DC-9 was a very popular aircraft for Douglas, or DC Jets, who merged with McDonnell. Donald Douglas continued to make the family with the MD80, 81, 82, 83, the 88, and the 90, and the MD95, which was then bought by Boeing in the merger, which was rebranded to the Boeing 717. The MD90 and the MD95 were the first to offer a full glass cockpit with modern instruments. Of course, we have the yoke removed because can't exactly see where we're going like that. I can't peer over like you would in real life. Remove the seat closer like you would in real life in order to be able to read better. So, yoke has disappeared for now. It's this way also on the 757, the 767. So something about older aircraft, just kind of thought it was a good idea to block one of your screens to use for navigation. But to be fair, this is the most important instrument. You can't tell what is up and down, what's left and right. This doesn't even matter. You can use this for your VOR down here if you wanted to. I don't plan on using VOR today, so we won't. ILS is up here. Speaking of which, we can go ahead and tune it in, make it easy for ourselves, so we don't have to worry about it later. We're landing runway 17 in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Then we'll exit to the right upon landing. The ILS is 108.9. So 108.9 is set. 108.9 is set here. And the course is 172. So when you're trying to spin these, just click, drag. Click, drag. It's a lot faster than scroll wheeling it. Some of these, like the speed, will continue to go because it's a lot faster for you to get from like 100 to 250 and so on. Almost a 280. We'll push the Mach button, go Mach. Over here, course. But with all these knobs and buttons around here, with this being older aircraft, you gotta be careful when you're zooming in on things. You don't want to accidentally knock a screw around, have the plane go haywire. Because this plane will do it what you tell it to do. If you tell it to go left, it will go left. And it will do it in a heartbeat, so you gotta be careful. Now the reason I'm moving my heading around is so that if for some reason autopilot disconnects, it'll still maintain that heading while we try to figure out what's going on, why the nav disconnected. It's an older aircraft, it's a lot harder to diagnose things. I don't fly MD80s every day. You don't see them in the sky anymore every day either, so find someone who can help you. Or tutorials out there, people who are willing to fly this plane, as people find this plane very daunting in the sim world. A lot of people don't take the risk of flying this plane anymore. The 737 and the Airbus family are really simple to fly. Crunch numbers, and it'll do what it tells you. So like pick a blank spot, zoom in here, Mach. There you go. It's that simple. I don't want to like be trying to circle in the next thing, pull one of the engine levers, and the engine goes out. That'd be unfortunate. We're almost to cruise here. And it is 10:44 here on the East Coast. The HC probably just wanted to go to bed, and I get it. They've probably been around for a while. It's late at night. And airspace wasn't even that busy, so they weren't leaving, chaos in their wake. So something you'll see here on the engines, the engine page, well, that's what I'm calling it. Looks like it says EPR here. This dash here is your N1 limiter, or your power rating limiter. So N1 is at 92%, but it'll only go this far. And I saw like when I was in takeoff mode, it was a little bit further. Climb is a little bit less. EGT, you want to keep that out of the red. You keep the N2 out of the red too, because you'll end up heating up the engines. Will burn out. Don't want to do that. Brake temperature's down here. Brake pressure's up here. Hydraulic panel's also down there on the first officer side, so I had to scoot over. As you see, there's a lot of buttons up here. You don't even need to press too many of them, so don't worry about it. If you want to fly the MD80, the rotating MD80 is actually a really good plane to use. Voltage is up here. Everything does make sense where it is, to be honest, if you know what you're looking for. The flow isn't too bad. But the first time going through it, you will be severely confused. I can almost guarantee that. Like I said, the MD82 is not the fastest aircraft in the world. Typically cruises between Mach 0.74 and Mach 0.76. It can get to Mach 0.78, but that is really pushing it. That on top of its atrocious fuel burn, its emissions, and its range being shorter than that of the modern 7.3s and A320 family, ended up getting itself retired to the more modern aircraft. The MD90 wasn't much better than the MD88, to be honest. It used the same engine as some of the A320 family, the V2500. It was mounted on the rear, which made maintenance hard, as the engine's shell was slightly different. And no airline likes expensive maintenance. So, Delta, the sole operator of the MD90 family, they're one of two. The first one didn't really care for them too much and immediately retired them, so Delta came to last. Retired them back in 2020. So if you want to fly an MD90, you can't do it. You missed your chance. There are a few MD80s still out there, though. I believe there are still a few in Spain. That's, of course, RedAir, which I'm flying now. In America, which flies to the Dominican Republic. And there's a charter company called World Atlantic in the United States, who operates 8 MD80s of their own. Other carriers of the MD80s to America is USA Jets, who has a fleet of DC-9s, MD80s, and 727s for cargo operations, so not really much of a way to fly them as much as if you really want to be a pilot of those aircraft, there's a potential outlet for you there. While I only got 21 years of these MD80s, they did provide a lot of fun for me as a kid growing up. With Delta and American flying in out of my home airport RDU a lot. Used to be almost felt like exclusively MD80s with them. Slowly 737s and 75s creeped in to take up their spaces in the time slots as they were starting to be phased out and retired. American retired them first, right before COVID happened, in 2019, I believe. Another airline that actually used to operate them was Allegiant, believe it or not. They had a fleet of MD-80s and 757s before their A320 family became their current fleet today. Saw one of those growing up. They used to fly that to Punta Gorda out of Raleigh-Durham before they officially pulled out of the airport altogether. Delta's last MD-80 flight out of Raleigh-Durham will actually be about 2 years ago. 3 years ago, actually. This month. I flew 2 MD-80s lifetimes, 2 MD-88s, from Newark to Atlanta and Atlanta to RDU. Glad I did. It was a very fun experience. The plane really was a rocket at low altitudes. Had a very strong climb. Could really get up there, especially when it was lightly loaded. Closest thing to it right now is a 757 in a power to weight ratio, to be honest. But there is the MD95 or Boeing 717 still around with Delta Airlines and Hawaiian, who are both seeking to retire those in the near future, between 2025 and 2030. Both are planning to use A220s to replace them. So the seating arrangement that they have is the 2-3 will live on, but the planes will soon, the entire DC-9 family that is, passenger-wise in the United States, will soon be retired by the end of the decade. Delta in my home airport of Raleigh-Durham has actually pulled out of all 717 flights exclusively, except for Detroit, which gets 2 to 3 runs per day on 717. Before COVID, the MD80s would swap out with them sometimes on routes, but we would get them especially from JFK on occasion. We get them from Minneapolis, Atlanta, Detroit. These fly out of Salt Lake City sometimes. Now that's almost exclusively A220 territory now. So if you want to fly any of the DC-9 family in this modern era to the main airports you'd have to go to in order to try, would be Minneapolis, 1,000 feet to go. Would be Minneapolis or Miami, with RedAir, who has, I believe, 2 to 4 flights a day on their MD80s to the Dominican. And then, of course, Delta with their 717 fleet flying to many destinations. And in Charlotte, that they fly to Atlanta by the hour almost. So there's also Atlanta you can try. And JFK, they also fly 717s too on occasion if they aren't using CRJs. I do hope to fly some of the 717s in the future. They do take off and have like the same characteristics as the MD80s, as of course they are the little brother of them. Me and my friends jokingly refer to them as the the DC-9 Neo, actually, due to as a fun to the Airbus Neo joke, as they share the exact same dimensions as the DC-9, with a little bit more modern wings, a glass cockpit, and different engines, newer engines. If the DC-9 had still been around, if you like put them side by side, if you didn't look at the engines or the tail, you wouldn't notice the difference. Same seating capacity, same length. Very uncanny. And we have reached cruise. Now, my experience flying these MD80s, past 4 flights I've done, when putting it in cruise engine selection, it tends to be a little low on the power setting, so it's not able to hold the speed like it wants to. So I have chosen and continue to choose to leave it in the climb mode. That way it can maintain the speed and best forward pace to the best of its ability. We'll stay at 330 through Renfro and Jewel. After Jewel, we'll begin our descent down into Santo Domingo. It is a mountainous region, so we have to be careful. Our terrain radar is down here, so not exactly helpful as it popping up here on like the 737 or A320 family. Our TCAS is also over here, so if there's a plane in the nearby vicinity, it'll pop up here. And our range is here, so 5, 10, 20, and 40 miles out. This is our map. Weather and TCAS, so there's no airplanes around us at the moment. TCAS off, test, it works. So it's saying that we're up at this altitude, do weather and TCAS. And then up here, we can have it angled up to look for planes above us or weather above us, or angled down to look at things below us as we descend. I choose not to mess with it too much because the range tends to be decent. So there's another quirk about the DC-9 family, or the MD82 in general. On the 717, everything is more Boeing-esque. So it's like flying a 727 when it comes to inputting information, but it is a DC-9 in its flight mechanics. If you ever wondered what these windows up here and up there are for, back in the 80s and prior, before we had VORs regularly, you had many areas that would become like beacons to navigate by at night, or in some cases, the stars. An old naval way of doing things, you would measure the stars. Now, these stars aren't actually in any configuration. There's no constellation to be looking at in X-Plane 11. There is an X-Plane 12, though. Let's say we're going south. Let's just say for fun that this is Gemini. You know, we have 3 stars here. You measure these 3 stars compared to these 2 and see the change over time. And you can get your correlation by degrees of how far you travel, which direction you're going, by stargazing. And by stargazing, you can travel from point A to point B. It's not impossible. It's just a learned skill that I have no true knowledge in outside of the info I just dropped on you guys. But that's why 737s actually used to have these windows up here. They no longer have them. Some of them have been plugged. If you look carefully at some aircraft, you might see some plugs on windows here and here on the 737s. Of course, the 717s, a lot of them have them, but a couple of them don't. So be careful if you ever see a Delta 717 without this upper window. Some pilots like to plug it because in the daytime the sun's now beaming right at you. There's nothing you can do about it. So they put like a safety card up here and they'll tape it in to block the sun. But that was the initial intent and purpose of those windows being up there on the DC-9 family. Was if I lost all of my instruments, as long as I can keep my plane level, I can still navigate by the stars and get to where I need to go. Like the old sailors would. But it's also where nautical mile comes from. You put a knot in a rope on a plank of wood, and you throw it overboard, and you let the wood float from your ship as you travel. And how many knots had passed through within hours, how many nautical miles you were traveling per hour. That, of course, is still used in maritime today and in aviation. We still use the nautical miles and knots as our speed and distance measurements. Simplifies everything between kilometers and miles, or the imperial mile. Just use nautical miles across the board. like using Celsius as a temperature across the board, and English as a language of aviation. But other than that, there isn't too much left to say about this aircraft, or this route that we are doing today. This route's typically done during the day, makes things easier for everybody flying into the Dominican. It is a mountainous island nation attached to Haiti, so there are sometimes flights get canceled due to earthquakes, something like that. But I found no problems flying with the MD80 to and from places. And I'm sure I'll find ways to continue to operate this with my fleet here on X-Plane 11 once we get back from Europe. Maybe we'll find a couple of MD80 routes in Spain and fly a few of those. But if ever someone releases a 717 before they were, of course, retired, I would probably gladly pick that up and fly those as well, along with my fleet. For those who are wishing to buy the Rotate MD80, the Rotate MD80 Pro is currently listed on X-Plane's store at $45. Its retail price is $59.95, so it's currently 25% off, saving you $14.95, which you can also then spend on the sound pack, which is $15.80. So pretty much there's a discount on the plane for you to in turn make it sound a little better. And it does sound good from up here. It isn't made for like cabin noise, so it gets a little louder as you go towards the back of the plane, but doesn't get like truly as loud as it does in real life in the back of the plane. So if you do find Rotate MD80's base model sound to be unpleasant to you or just not as realistic, as someone who flew the MD80 before as a passenger, I wanted its most realistic sound I could get, so I of course bought the cockpit sound pack, which makes it sound very realistic. It does sound very close to it. It's worth the purchase. I've enjoyed it. It does sound accurate. The two times I flew the MD80, the first time was, of course, in like the famed 33E seat, which was very nice being right by the engine. Its sound is amazing. But the second time, back when Delta was assigning seats for connecting flights, I was assigned up in like the mid-teens. It does sound about right where it is right now for the stream. Like you can hear the buzz, but you hear a lot more air noise over the fuselage than you do the engines themselves. So it's pretty accurate. And maybe they'll come out with more sounds that'll better replicate being on a passenger back towards the door, the engine in the back, but maybe they won't. At the end of the day, we are flying the plane, not being passengers to the aircraft we are in control of. Rotate also made the MD11, which I do not have, as I only have a 2-engine throttle. I don't have a 3-engine throttle. So that'll either be for another time or just never. Who knows? But I've otherwise had no issues. At this time, I am the only one in my own airspace, so I am out here alone, flying over the Bahama Islands, as the Bahamas right now, and the Virgin Islands, I believe. Cuba is to my right. To my left is most of the North Atlantic Ocean, as we draw closer to Haiti and the Dominican. I do feel it was nice that we caught some ATC on the way out. Made for a decent start to our flight. And the routing of this flight is actually rather direct, so pretty straightforward. No oceanic flying for us either. We actually are flying completely over controlled airspace if it were to be controlled. With it being late at night on a Wednesday, most people have work tomorrow, as do I. We actually have a SoCal. These are SoCal rated, apparently. BCFG. Registration L Lima November Romeo Mike Lima is, I believe, the base model registration on this plane. The registrations for RedAir actually start with Hotel India, so this does not match our plane, but it is a registration somewhere in real life. At this point, we'll just monitor and cruise. If anyone does have any comments or questions, feel free to let me know, ask. I'll do my best to answer them before we begin our descent down into the Las Americas airport, Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. I'll try to do our best to have a decent landing. as we neared start approach. On the codex to approach. Codex 2G is below flight level 200 codex 9350 knots, which is why I set them lower that way. We don't have to worry about being like 20,000 feet, 250, and being like way too high, because it's technically allowable. It's something that they allow, which is crazy. Then SD 349, 230 knots, 4,000 feet, made the absolute at 4,000. NSD 150, 3,000 feet, 210 knots. Then we'll head in for the ILS 17. ILS 17. Hello, Ice Coffee. We're briefing right now. ILS 17 at localizer 108.9. That is inside. Course 172. Hebrew at 2,000. Decision height is 260. We can't do 260, I don't believe. Actually, we can, so put that in 260, which is a 219 feet MSL. If for some reason localizer was out, the distance height would be 520 feet. I don't believe that is sim, so here we are. Oh, your sim crashed on approach. That is very unfortunate. We are in the MD80 for RedAir. I said I'd be doing it. Here we are. We're doing it. This is one of 2 flights where we head on to Europe. We're coming in at GoLam. And we'll join the ILS there. Oh, Los Angeles is a terrible airport in the center. It's just always overpopulated. So our top descent is coming up quickly, a little over 60 miles for top descent. Top descent is at 207 nautical miles, 347 Zulu. It is currently 322 Zulu, so we'll be there in about 25 minutes. And we'll get our descent down. We're well above our minimum fuels for our FMC, which was 8. It was 6.8, I believe, so 2,000 extra to the good, which is great. Not 2,000, almost 4,000. My bad. Bad math. Sorry, math's important. So when we get within 50 nautical miles or so, we'll put in 3,000 feet. ILS is already set. We now have our decision height to 260. Back to the legs. Yeah, I've already flown into here once in practice, and realized that if you don't set any heights or any absolutes for your arrival into an airport, it will come in a little high. So I set myself absolute heights. It should come in a little lower and more spot on for our arrival into Santo Domingo. Ice Coffee, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're almost there. So far, so good on this MD82 stream. We did have HC on the way out. Tower went offline right as we were about to take off, so it is what it is, but we had our clearance, got taxi. I'm personally doing well. I am glad that I have seemed to have gotten a system down for the MD82. It is a very complex aircraft, and it's very daunting to start off with, but once you learn how to get things done, it's about as simple as the rest of them. You just gotta know the flows. Once you know the flows, it flows. Could have a few rough days, but we all have rough days. Stream makes it a little better sometimes. Alright, so to my YouTube channel, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Every sub counts over on YouTube. The algorithm is very fickle. So, I do appreciate you. Sub to my stream. Hope you like my IRL stuff over there. I do have a couple trips planned, actually, in real life. I do plan on taking an Amtrak train from New York to Miami soon on the Silver Meteor, flying with Delta on 757s, A321s, 737s. So it'll be a vast variety of aircraft types to talk about and have fun with on Delta. So it'll be a fun one coming up in June. If this landing goes well, this will also go up on YouTube for others to watch. I might consider actually bringing these streams over to YouTube at some point as a test. See how people react over there. But I don't expect too many people. There's a lot going on YouTube, a lot of streams going on at once, a lot of videos to be had. So it's a bigger market over there. Twitch seems to be better for streaming, the YouTube seems to be better for video performance. That's been my experience. Though I'm not a big time streamer, you know. I don't have 3,000 people in here. Let's be honest, 300 people in here, you know, talking all at once, vying for attention. So I do like it that way. I like smaller stuff. Allows me to be more personal with people like you. You show up in the streams who have very valuable people. So, once again, appreciate you being here. It is late at night. It's 11:30. So thank you for doing that. The next step with Twitch actually is if I can get 5 people consistently in stream. I can become a Twitch associate. I can start giving you guys rewards and stuff. I can get subs, paid subs for that too. You can have like bits and things. I do have donation links now, so I am allowed to do that. Flight Fan did give me my first donation of $5, which I'm very appreciative of. Small things do matter in this world. So we've done a lot of growing in the past 2 months. Me just returning back to Twitch. Having a faithful audience, even if it is just 2 people to start off with, is very important. I did give an actual like hour-long lecture on the MD80, its history, and how some of these systems work. In case some people want to fly this, which is a lot of fun. This actually is a very fun plane to fly. If you do want to buy it, it is 25% off right now. Not sure how long it's been 25% off or how long it'll stay that way, but I think it's worth it. The plane's it's hard to learn at first. Once you get through it, it's very fun. Actually, let's see if I can find a list of the entire DC-9 family of planes real quick so I can. go from the beginning to the end. Friends of mine call the DC-9 the Mad Dog Father. So the DC-9 started with DC-9 10, 11, 12, 14, and 15. It was all DC-9 10s. Linking with JT8Ds. JT8D-5s, JT8D-7s. But there's a small difference. JT8D 20s and 21s. Not JT8Ds, DC9 20s and 21s. DC9 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. The DC9 40, the DC9 50 and 51. And then in 1980, when they merged, after merging with McDonnell, coming out Douglas, come up with the MD80 and its variants. Which is the MD80, MD81, 82, the 83, which also later became the 88, the MD87, and the MD90. But last but not least, the DC-995 or MD95, which became the Boeing 717. That is the entire fleet of DC-9 jets, which is a very long list, like the 737 family is for Boeing today. But ended up being phased out because the 717 was a direct competitor to the 737-700, although their speed and range were vastly different. That is the very quick rundown of the history of the DC-9 jets. The DC-9s themselves harder to date, because you need to know which year each DC-9 variant came out. But the MD80 family of DC-9 jets is a lot easier. Pick the last two digits of the jet, and that's the year it was designed to come out. So 80 came out in 80, 81 came out in 81 and 82, 83 of course came out in 83 and 88. The MD83 was built, and then a couple were rebuilt in 88. And redubbed the MD88. Yeah, the MD90 was built in 1990. So it all adds up. And 95 was built to come out in 1995 until the merger happened with Boeing, and was renamed the 717. They actually had a test jet before the merger that read MD95, so it did happen. But they're not sold under that name. But as I always say, if you have any further questions or inputs about the stream or the flight or what's going on, feel free to let me know. Until then, we'll go back to monitoring our aircraft, keep an eye on all these delicate but old systems, make sure that we can get to our destinations. Next flight will be tomorrow. We'll do 2, so I can get on the way towards Europe. We'll be flying the MD82 back to Miami, where we'll switch over to Delta and their 737 flap to Orlando. Really quick flight, less than an hour. This flight itself takes 1 hour 50 minutes to 2 hours 12. So it'll be a nice 4-hour straight max from Dominican to Orlando. If there acts as a RedAir flight to Orlando, I might just do that direct if I see that. So tomorrow we'll be flying this currently is planned, Dominican to Miami, Miami to Orlando with Delta. Then we'll go to bed, take Saturday off, fly on Saturday, 7-hour leg in the morning from Orlando to Keflavik, and we'll take a day off. Sunday will be a day to myself. We'll rest up. Monday we'll fly into Europe from there. That is the current plan. I believe I can pull that off. It shouldn't be too hard. But I'm just doing this so I can pace myself. If I had like 2-hour flights, I could stack them top each other without issue. So that's what I'm going to do with tomorrow. We're going to fly to Orlando tomorrow, so we can just prep ourselves for Friday when we get the long haul out of the Mets to Keflavik. Because we're only an hour 41 into this trip right now. Hour 50 is our flight time. We took off about 20 to 30 in, so we're almost there. And the tracker also says that we're about there too. 228 miles, 227 miles from here. They have us arriving at 406 Zoos. That's 30 minutes from now. Something that I found slightly annoying, but I found a workaround, is that the flaps here don't work with my flap lever because I only have 4 notches. This course has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so a little off. So I added a key bind to my side stick to add flaps, which ends up working well with that, so I can avoid that issue of not being able to add flaps without having to physically look over at the throttle. Because not every airport has ILS. When I tried on the level up 737, they disagreed with my actual lever for my flaps. I just continue to use, that flaps lever, which is fine. But for this aircraft in particular, I have a button instead of my flaps lever on my Airbus quadrant. Go back to Navigraph and see what this is. Like all of them. Las Americas. We will call it as such. Las Americas International. At Santo Domingo. Of course, the next flight, by the way, will be a lot earlier in the day. I came back. Wednesday's my bowling night. As such, I was bowling until about 8:30. Didn't get home until about 9, 10 at night. So I didn't get off the ground until after 10. Tomorrow we should be able to get off the ground around 4:30, 5 o'clock Eastern. Which gives us plenty of daylight to get up to Orlando. We're nearing 60 miles. Yeah, 76 miles. Like I said, when we get to about 50, drop down to 3,000. Get our descent to prepare for arrival. Now, if we look at our descent gauge, there is no weather like in the Boeing, so there's no weather to input. I can descend now if I would like. I believe it is too soon. So 270 knots, 280 spots, I believe. 0.711 Mach, 280 or 270, whichever is greater. And our approach speeds, look at 132. Now if we pull up weather, that's airport weather. The winds are 160 at 4 knots, so perfect for us. It's going to be directly at us, so the direction 4 knots, please. Put some 137 instead. So we'll probably be about 142 for our speed before we flare. QNH 1014. Temperature 23, dew point 22. Few clouds 1,800, broken at 30,000. So be prepared for some clouds. And hopefully we'll have visibility before we touch the ground. There you go. That's our descent plan. We will use low brakes. We'll arm this once we get below landing flaps. We'll have to arm the speed brake as well. Back up. Landing lights are here. Wing lights are here. Strobes are on. Beacon is already. Air is flowing. We are pressurized. Landing rate is. Sorry, cabin altitude for arrival is 0 to 17 feet. And 2909er is going to get to 300 or 298. The rest looks good. Yep, the rest looks good. And we'll begin our ascent afterwards. Exit to the runway is on our right. So we'll be looking at the exit on the right. Gotta remember that the LFL doesn't disconnect by me moving the throttles as well, so I need to pull that lever all the way down or get throttle control for arrival, or else I'll float to the runway like I did off stream, which wasn't good, because landing was going to be perfect until that happened. 25 miles from top of Central again, are east. So 10 to 12. I don't think I ever asked, but Ice Coffee, what is your time zone? So I can know when to best stream for you, so you don't have to stay up so late at night like Flight from Jane does because he lives in Europe. If I can help it, that is. What is too late for you? If something is too late, everybody has different schedules. I do a flight from Los Angeles to Dubai. That is too long for me. I refuse to fly that long, that far, ever again without being able to go to sleep in between. Because while I like flying, I am definitely a passenger on flights that long. I refuse to fly that long without a co-pilot or some sort of shared cockpit so they could take over for me. It's just too long. People who do flights like that have my respect. So if you have the time of day where flight times, time zones don't matter to you, you can just fly like that, go off, man. That is not me. I don't have the time nor the effort to be doing things of that nature. Once again, this is RedAir 3997 to Las Americas. The whole time you got is on weekends. That's what I thought. Yeah, I make my own schedules, so I don't have to wake up at 8 o'clock every day to go to work. I probably should, but I don't have to. I get off work a little after 4, so that tends to be what works for me. And then sometimes on weekends, if I don't feel like working extra, I can fly all day. You know you like flying when you can do it and it doesn't burn you out. And what I like about flight sims over train sims is that you literally have the whole world as your oyster. You're not, limited to one route or one area. As much as I like trains, being stuck to the same 90 miles of New York to Philadelphia does get a little old. Alright, off, back to speed select. A little high on speed, so we'll voice some spoilers here real quick to bring it down. We're sitting at roughly 2,000 feet per minute. I know it says 1,000. I don't know if it's exact, but I'm rounding up for this case. Turn on the terrain radar so we have to fly over some actual terrain here. We have no terrain collision avoidance system alerts, which is good. That is the trim wheel. It's not alert, but it is very jarring. Remember, QNH is 1014. Set that at 1.8. That mounts up to 5,000 feet. We have some traffic out there. And Kaibo, the internationals. So we're about to fly over. That's what these flashing lights are here, probably. Yep, that's what those flashing lights are. That's of an aircraft. Las Americas traffic, RedAir 39977, Codex 2G, arrival for runway 17, Las Americas. That's Americas traffic. Just let them know we are also in the area, so they get prepared. I can't see them as well as they can see me, as they are in 737, so well, it's up to both of us to pay attention. It's really more up to him to see me than me to see him, due to my lack of ability. Go ahead and set 10. Lights are not on, but they are ready to be visible. there they are. That's Dominican tail number HI966. So they're doing pattern work down here. Hope they had fun practicing probably real life events. I guess we hold back here if we have a disadvantage. So we have heading selected. That is what the plane defaults to. If nav is not being used, it defaults to heading select. So that's why it is very important to have, especially in this aircraft, have your nav pointing where you want it to go, just in case something goes wrong. When you initially turn autopilot, it will go for heading select. There they go below us. Don't know if TCAS alerts. Good. Yeah, they're at Santiago doing touch and goes. We have our speed restriction. Go ahead, turn on these lights. Once again, I love to have an off button for my microphone so I can sneeze up so I'm blowing out everyone's ears. So much better. There's our speeds. So again, I'll reference that 136 plus 5 is 141. Probably do 145 for safety. I've been told not to pull out all the way because engines do take a while to spool up. You want them to be able to have reverse thrust. We have cleared the terrain as of now. Still don't have ILS as of now. We hope to soon. At this speed and rate descent, I'll go ahead and arm the speed brake. Entering the cloud layer here. Still no visual, but we are at 4,000 for now. Still got 1,000 to go. Las Americas traffic, RedAir 3997's on a straight-in arrival for ILS 17. Las Americas. I currently can't tell how many miles I am ILS. I've not found a way to do that yet, so when I do find a way, I'll be able to use it better. This might be it right here, actually telling us how far we are DME. Yeah, distance, so 38 miles. So I'll be using this. In 1 mile, we'll be sitting back down to 3,000. And from there, I'll take over at vertical speed and control speeds to drop us down to 210, 200. Start adding in some flaps. Here we go. $200. Flaps 5. That's flaps 11. 1,000 to go. Still in takeoff config. Once we get past 15, we'll be in landing config. I can arm the brakes. Still no ILS. around 2,500. Just are in between this waypoint and Kebro, which is 2,000 and 3,000. There it is. Gear down. ILS. Sorry for the strobes, guys. Gear is down. Got the localizer. I'll do that for you guys just so we can be a little bit better. Do 180. Add another notch of flaps there, make it 15. Las Americas traffic. RedAir 3997 is on a 10-mile final off runway 17, Las Americas. Down to 28. ILS coming in. You can arm that now. With the glide slope track, we are on the ILS. That is flaps 40. Lights, set, flaps, set, gear down, auto brakes, Spoilers, speed, ILS and runway in sight. We are good to go. Let us arrive in Las Americas. To go. We are stabilized on the approach. We will continue. Las Americas traffic, RedAir 3997 is on short final ILS 17. Las Americas. Very slight right crosswind. Continuing.
Autopilot.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Spoilers. Reverse. We are down. 80 knots. Stowed. Manual braking. Welcome to Las Americas. That was a great landing, actually. Las Americas traffic, RedAir 3997 is clear of runway 17 and taxiing to the ramp. Spoilers. Flaps up. Yeah. Get APU on. There it goes. Flaps are up. Spoilers retracted. Alright. Thank you, Ice Coffee. I do believe that was a great landing myself. Taxiing into the ramp. International is to our left. We'll just take this gate right in front of us. Make it easier on ourselves. Slow down. Lights off. APU power available. Someone cut the engines off, it'll be fine. That was a very well put together flight from start to finish. Park the brake. Power is available. There you go. We are on APU power. No. Oh, I'm sorry. It's gear horn. Engine off. Master caution. Anti-collision off. There you go. Cargo doors open. Forward door open. Welcome to Las Americas. Engine hydraulics off. Alright. Yeah, added this in, so now we have actual baggage loaders and everything, which is really cool. That was a great flight. I don't think there was anything wrong with that from beginning to end. Um, let's see if I can get what the block time was. We don't need this anymore, so turn that off. Where's the menu? Menu. Index. Broken takeoff performance. No, we can't, unfortunately. That is unfortunate. But, considering that we spent 2 hours 30 minutes in stream, I can say we at least spent less than 2 hours 12 in transit. Let's close these. Disconnect from VATSIM. Transponder off. And, watch that landing back, shall we? Flight. Toggle replay mode. Wait. Open the door so we can get a rear view for this one as well. There you go. So it was an overall great flight. I felt we did good.
500, 400, 300, minimums, 200, 100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
I need you parked on the ramp for service.
There you go. That's how you get Mr. Beer. Let's try to go back here. For arrival. I'll show you what I mean by it does get a little louder, but not too loud.
500,
So the best seat in the house is always back here.
400, 300, minimums,
No, this is actually what came with
200.
Rotate MD80, so I'm not sure.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Alright, go outside. Try and get some of our exterior views. Oh yeah, that's a great touchdown. Complete butter. See you later, man. Have a good one. A few more views, then we'll call it a night. And we'll do one more from the back and we'll call it good. Do appreciate you guys showing up. Again, once again, as always, it's nice to have people show up for just me kind of flying around having fun by myself. We'll be back tomorrow for a daytime version of this flight over to Miami, where we will then fly to Orlando. And prepare for our flights to Europe.
500,
Thanks everybody for stopping by.
400,
Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
300, minimums, 200, 100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.